Welcome to part one of a two-part video entitled SQL Server Extended Events. Now this is the shiny new way to capture events on your SQL Server, and we're going to capture things so that we can go back and then optimize our system. Now really the way to think about SQL Server Extended Events is like a DVR for your SQL Server. We're going to turn this thing on, it's going to watch and read what we tell it to, then we can play it back later and see what we want to do with it. Now, optimizing a system always requires two things. We need to monitor that system, and we need to capture data about the actions that system is taking so that we can make decisions on how best to optimize it. Now, here's the problem. The monitoring action itself often places a significant load on the system. Now, SQL Server Profiler falls into that category. It's extremely powerful. You can tell all kinds of things, and you can do some really cool stuff with it. However, it places a pretty significant load on the SQL Server if you're not careful, and that creates a problem. You skew the results that are being collected because you've put such a load on your server. Then you've compounded the poor performance problem that everyone's been complaining about, because while you're monitoring it to try to correct it, it's gotten even worse. Now, SQL Server Extended Events is part of a larger functionality in the Windows operating system that's called Extended Events. And this is a very lightweight performance monitoring system. Now, when you look at this, and when I run it in part two, those of you who have been around a while are going to say, wow, that looks a lot like SQL Profiler. And in a lot of ways, it really is an updated, cooler, slicker, lighter weight, shinier version of SQL Profiler. It's doing a lot of the same things. It's just a different package, a different way to go about it, and very much more lightweight. Now, the best way to understand extended events is just to see it working. And I'm going to take you through a simple example of that in just a moment here. But the best way to really learn about it and to know what to do with it and what it means is to dig into the documentation on Microsoft's TechNet site. So if you'll go to technet.microsoft.com, just do a search for extended events, and then just dig into all that information that you find out there. There is a lot to learn and a lot to understand about extended events, but they've built it in a way it's wizard-based. It's very easy to step through it the first few times, kind of get your feet under you, get your brain wrapped around it, and then you can just kind of launch from there and start to play with it. So we'll end part one here. Join me in part two, and we're going to actually create some extended events, run a session, show you what the capture results looks like, show you how cool this tool really is.